325, 21. Okay. Proportional tables and graphs. Okay, so today we're doing proportional tables and graphs. Make sure there's no comments. Make sure there's no comments. All right. So here was the, I'm not sure if it's the same table as yesterday or if it's a similar table, but I'm just going to do it. I think it was this. Something like that. Because some of you told me that the answer was 4, right? Some of you told me your answer is 4. And the answer is not 4. The answer is not 4. Okay? So the arrow, when you're doing, so there's no shortcut here, right? Because this isn't going in order. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. This, it's like, what am I doing? I'm going down by 1 here. What? So, and this is in this format. So this shortcut is going from your X to your Y. No, you know, you're going to write it down. You're going to write it down. We all suffer. So like this shortcut is like, okay, how do I go from 5 to 15? Oh, I multiplied by 3. How do I go from 2 to 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4? Cool. Here it's, how do I go from 40 to 10? 40 to 10. It's X to Y, where you're like, what did you multiply 40 to get to 10? I don't know, Miss O'Malley. Exactly. Well, you do know. You have to put it in the form of Y over X. Okay, Y over X. Now, everyone's writing this down because you're actually going to be using Y over X a lot next week. A lot. So it's good practice to get into the habit of Y over X because you're going to use it a lot next week. You used it a little bit yesterday, but a lot more next week. So it's good to practice. So yes, write this down. So pick a pair, any pair, all the pairs. So it would be 6 over 24. That's this one. Simplify. Divide by 6, divide by 6, you get 1/4. Right? If it's, then it's 5 over 20. Divide by 5, divide by 5, and that would be 1/4. Oh, look, they match. Guess what? They will all match because it's proportional. Divide by 3, divide by 3, so that's 1/4. 10 over 40, divide by 10, divide by 10, that's 1/4. You can literally check right now your classwork from yesterday in your notebook, like just flip the page back and see the 5th one. Not the very last one, the 5th one. Do you have 1/4? If you wrote 4, you're doing it backwards. You're writing X over Y. You're trying to make it easy for yourself. And I mean, granted, we love math that is easy. I don't blame you. But you can't just change the rules on us. It has to be Y over X, which makes it a fraction. And we like fraction form. We don't really like decimals. So check your table. Check your table. Did you get 1/4? All right? Because I want to say these were kind of the numbers that were on the table, maybe in the different order, but it should look like it was 1/4. I 100% know that the answer for number 5 yesterday was 1/4. Okay, so hopefully I cleared some misconceptions. So technically here you're multiplying by 1/4, although it's really hard to see that. A lot of kids don't see that. So when you don't see it, you're doing Y over X, okay? All right. So let's try this one. Let's try one of these tables. This is brand new, brand new, brand new, brand new. Here's my new table. It's proportional. Yes. Yeah. So this is simplifying is just like when you used to simplify fractions in maybe elementary school, simplifying. Like what number can you divide the top and the bottom by? It's called simplifying your fractions. So some teachers call it reduce. I don't like reduce. I like simplify. To each their own. Okay, here it is. Here's one. You're like, it's not going 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's totally out of order. Don't know. How do I go from 42 to 12 times? I have no idea. How do I go from 14 to 4? 14 times what is 4? I don't know, right? It's so when you try doing this, you're just like, okay, it's not going to be a whole number. It's not going to be a pretty number. It's probably going to be a fraction. So key to this is you got to make sure it is in y over x form. Y over x, y over x, y over x. Why is it y over x? Right here. On the first day of proportional relationship, we're just like, what number goes inside the division box? Your y goes inside. What number goes outside? Your x goes outside. Y goes inside, x goes outside. That's why it's y over x. If I were to write this out the old school way, y would go inside, x would be outside in the old division way. So let's do it. Let's take the first fraction, 4 over 14. Now simplify it. So simplifying, it's kind of like when you added fractions and the teacher at the end of the day was like, okay, you added those fractions, cool, simplify. And you're like, yeah, I know how to do that. You think of a number that you can divide the top and the bottom by. What can you divide the top and the bottom by? If I have 4 and 14, what's a magical number I can divide both by? I can divide by 2. Cool. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Can I simplify this? Nope. This is your answer. Okay. Is that my unit rate? I don't know. Let's check. 8 over 28. I can divide by 4. That gives me 2. 28 divided by 4, 7. Oh. 10 over 35. Divide by 5. 2 over 7. No, it can't be. No. What? Divide by 6. 2 over 7. What? Mind blown. They all simplify down to 2 over 7. On purpose? No. It's called the constant of proportionality. So K would equal 2/7. So therefore my equation would be y equals 2/7 x. Why do we write it as a fraction? This is why. If I were to take 4 divided by 14, I get this wacky number, 0.2857. If I take 8 divided by 28, 0.2857. 10 divided by 35, 0.2857. 12 divided by 42, 0.8257, right? They all have the same equivalent decimal. Guess what decimal that is? It's the 2/7. 2 divided by 7. Boom, it's right there. But we want to write it as a fraction. We want the constant of proportionality be written as a fraction because sometimes those fractions are wacky decimals and it's like, well, did you round? Did you round to the tens place and I rounded to the hundreds place? Oh, and my neighbor rounded to the thousands place? We're all in different boats here, right? So in order to have everyone on the same team, we leave it as a fraction. Even if the fraction is 1/4, so it equals 0.25, get used to writing it as a fraction, Any questions? So when you're looking at a table and you can't figure out what the constant of proportionality is, you're just like, I don't know what we're multiplying by. Yeah, 14 times what is 4? Yeah, no. You do it this way. Okay? And if you're just like, oh, look, yeah, we're multiplying by 4. Yeah, we are. Look, 10 times 4 is 40. That's going this way. We can't go up. I mean, Some of you are smart enough to realize, like, well, if I'm multiplying by 4 going up, that really means dividing by 1/4. You do the reciprocal. But I'm not sure if we're all there, and I can't judge it by the way you're looking at me going like, oh yeah, that's true, or like, what did she just say? So we're just going to play it off with y over x. So if you can't make it go from y to x. This is a no bueno. No bueno. You have to go from x to y. X to y. What are you multiplying by? Multiplying by 1/4. Now again, sometimes your tables, super easy, right? This is the easiest one. The 3 is everywhere. Yay, super easy, right? If they go up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can see the unit rate right there. Yeah, super, super easy. Sometimes you get a table like this. Not sometimes, you will. You'll get a table like this and you'll be like, I don't know. I mean, if you gave me this table as a teacher, I would have been like, I don't know what the unit rate is. Give me a second. I can't see it. It's not apparent to me. Obviously, why would I think of 2 7s, right? Not right away, not like that. If you give me time, I'll be like, okay, it's y over x, simplify. Oh yeah, 2 7s. And I would check, oh yeah, it's 2 7s. It wouldn't be very apparent. If I were to give you this, one, right? You would all see 2 within 10 seconds. You would all see a unit rate of 2. These are the easy ones. This is easy too. You just have to remember this. How many of you will forget? I don't know. All right. So that was the review of tables that we did yesterday. So hopefully that was like, oh, I get it, Miss Lamelli. Okay. Now we're moving on to graphs. So now the only information that you're given is a graph. So yesterday, the only information that was given was a table. Today, the only information that is given is a graph. So we're going to graph and read from a graph. Read from a graph. So you're given a graph. I'll make it the first one easy for us. So this one's x and this one's y. Make it easy. I'm going up by 1s on x. Okay, you do the same. Go up by 1s. I don't know why it's so bright. Five, 10, 15, 20. All right, give you guys a couple seconds to copy that down. Okay. What is K? What is my equation? What is my unit rate? What is my equation? Anybody take a wild guess? One or both of those answers? Yep. So the unit rate is 5. So the equation is 5x. How do we get that? Where do we see it on our graph? Where do we see that k equals 5, so therefore the y equals 5x? Where do we see the unit rate from a graph? Remember yesterday we talked about a table and we saw it a whole bunch of different ways. How do we see it from a graph? Because you might be given a graph and you have to give all the information based on just the graph. They don't even tell you what x is and y is. It's money, what? It's going up on the y, yes. So it's going up by 5s. So look at this. If this is going up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. But most importantly, here's what you need to look for. Always. You need to look for when x is 1, it's your superstar. You're going to go up to where the dot is, then you're going to go over, and that's your k. Okay, when x when x is 1, k is what y is. Wow, that's very out. What? Not a question mark. It is. Period. Exclamation point. When x is 1, so when your value of x is 1, k is what y is. So you look for x, you look for the 1, you go up, whatever the k is, where that dot is for 1, that's your k. But it has to be on x is 1, okay?
Can you focus the camera a little bit more because it's hard to see the red?
I was trying to let me see if I lower my lights. Is that better? It's a little better. I'm dark. Like, there's not a lot of light on me, but what's important are these notes. Let me see. Let's refresh. Can I refresh? Okay, so that red is no bueno. Remind myself. Okay, let's purple. Okay, so when x is 1 on your x here on your graph, k is what y is when it's on the dot. Okay. Now this is an easy one. I'm not going to give you a hard one right away. All right. Let's draw another one. Okay. Okay, so here's another graph. What is k equal to? What's your equation? So, any guesses on what k is and what y equals? Anybody? Anybody out there? Somebody? Anybody? Ooh, I'm getting different answers. I love it. Oh, I love when I get different answers. I love it. Okay, so did you create the graph? No, I created it, right? So remember, if someone else created the graph and you copied it, they may or may not have gone up by the unit rate. Only if you created it original. Yes, I know you created it in your notebook. But you copied it. I didn't go like, okay, graph it. Okay, make sure you use the unit rate. I created it for you. You copied it. So be careful. Like I said up here, when x is 1, k is what y is. So here is 1 on x, right? So from here, you're going to go up to the dot. I don't know. You're going to go up to the dot. Okay, Miss Emma, here's my dot. Cool. Here's my unit rate. Whatever y is, that's your k. So we did not go up by the unit rate. Y is not going up by the unit rate. So don't look for 1 on your x. When x is 1, you go up to where the dot is. There's no dot right there. It skips it. It goes up to the 2. So therefore, k is actually 2. And your equation is y equals 2x. Okay? So be careful. So you got to look for the dots. You got to look for the dots. And sometimes the y numbers are misleading. They do it on purpose. I did it on purpose. So this is misleading. Okay? So you got to look for the dot where the 1 is. And then whatever y is, that's your k. I tricked you. Sort of. It's the way to make you learn, kids. All right, let's do another one. They're going to get progressively harder to find. So the first one was super easy to find. Second one was a little bit harder because I tricked you. Okay, here's my warning. I'm going to super trick you on this one. Don't get tricked. Mm-hmm. Yep. You're right, Alejandra. Did I trick you guys? Did I stump some of you? What happened? What'd you guys get? What is K? What is Y? Well, yep, Saeed. So I'm asking you to look for the 1, right? The 1 on X, right? When X is 1, K, what is K? I mean, what is Y, right? K is Y. But there is no 1. There's no 1. The smallest number I have is 520, right? But that doesn't tell me anything. Yes, it does. It tells you Y over X. Remember, if this is the ordered pair, 520. This is X, comma, this is Y, right? Your ordered pair. So I put it, there's a couple ways you can do it. This would be the way that would always work, especially when it's a fraction. It would be 20 over 5, which is equal to 4 over 1, because if I divide by 5, simplify by 5, or 4. So 4, y equals 4x. Now, some of you might be going there like, Miss Amelia, I knew it was 4. Why are you making it so much more complicated? I'm doing this because when your answer is a fraction, you're going to rely on this, and your answer is going to be like 1/3, and you're like, oh, I see why you showed me this. So yes, the some of you saw this and saw 4 right away. This is how we mathematically get 4 when we use y over x in the form of an ordered pair. Okay? So when they don't give you the 1, you got to solve for it, basically. Okay? Are we okay? Just ruin my makeup. Okay. I don't know if I should let you lose or give you one more. Let's do one more that's trickier. While we're drawing this one, do you guys notice something about all of the graphs that we've drawn in general? Do you notice something that is always true about our graphs, even from day 1? From the first day we've been graphing, even today, what do you always notice is happening with our graphs? Like, what pattern do you see? Like, what do you notice? Okay, we'll talk about that later. Well, does anybody have my unit right? Does anybody have my equation? Not quite, Alejandra, not quite. Ah, ooh, I'm getting a mixed bag, which is fine. You know, if you get it wrong, at least you're trying. At least you're like writing stuff on the chat. You're trying. It's way better than not trying, right? It's way better than the kids who are like not even with us. Should I take attendance now by like calling your names out? Oh, I should, huh? I should. I'd be like, you know, Hyman, are you here? Angel, are you here? All right, cool. So we look for 1, right? Like Miss O'Malley's like, hey, look for 1 on X. That's the easiest. Yes, it is. If I look for 1, there it is, and I go for the dot, it's like, oh, what? It's like right there. Well, what is that number? There's not even a dot there. There's no dot there because it's not on a corner. Yes, Evil. Evil is my middle name. Evil is my middle name. There's no dot. For those of you who said that K was 3, I understand why you're saying 3. But if it was 3, then the dot would be right there. And guess what? It's not there. It's not on 3. See what there? Sad face. So the first thing I would tell you is to look for 1 and look for a dot. If there's no dot, then you remember your math teacher, the evil math teacher you had for 7th grade. So I'm looking for the unit rate. Is there a dot on the 1? No. There's no dot on the 1. There's no dot on the 2. There's definitely not a dot on the 3. It's here. But it's right. It's right there. You see right there. 1, and it's that number right there. Well, do we know what that number is? No. What I do know, it's below 1. So my unit rate is below 1 because there's no dot on the 1 nor above. Right? So what you do, ready? What you do. So Sean, I would pay attention to this. I would definitely pay attention to this, Sean. What I would do here when the 1's not there, okay? It's not 0. It is a number. It's just that little tiny line. You see right there? I'm not really good at guessing. So what you do is you pick a point, a place where the line meets in a corner, right there. You pick a point. Pick a point. What point is this? Remember, ordered pairs are X, comma, Y. You learned this in elementary school or in 6th grade. Okay, so my X is 3, my Y is 1. X is 3, Y is 1, right? Now, Miss Lamelli was really annoying when she told us about Y over X, and she said we need to learn it because we're going to be using it more and more. Hi, everyone. We're going to use this right now. You're going to go back to this, Y over X. So here's my ordered pair. You could also use 6, 2 if you want. Whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so Y is 1 over 3. Can I simplify 1 over 3? Nope. That's it. If I do 6 over 2 and I divide it by 2, I get 3 over 1. Whoa. Don't. Nada. Nothing happened right here. Nothing happened. It'd be 2 over 6 divided by 2 because it's Y over X. Don't make mistakes, kids. Don't flip these numbers. This gives you 1 over 3. What is my unit rate? 1 over 3. What's my equation? 1/3 x. And 1/3 x. What's 1/3 as a decimal? It would be 0.333333333, right? So that little thing right there, if I go over, would be 0.3333333333333. But obviously we don't, we don't do that. We write it as a fraction like that. Okay, kids? Yes, no, maybe so, complicated, not complicated. It's not complicated. You just didn't know what to do. And so now I've told you what to do. If there's no 1 and it's like it's hard. Don't guess. Do not guess. You have the math skills to figure it out, to have an accurate answer. So you go for the dot. You figure out, okay, where do I see a dot? That's the one I'm going to use. You format it as an ordered pair, and then you simplify it. Oh my God.